to go out and co-found a company to test your research in the real world. And obviously that carried with it risk. So both in that situation and in general, how do you think about assessing risk when you go to make decisions?
So I think about if you're willing to take this risk, what does the upside look like? What can you do to minimize the downside so that the possibility of success is significant? But I'm a believer that if you're taking risk on something that can really have significant impact, then of course there are going to be challenges. If you stack up all the little things that could go wrong, you're going to persuade yourself you never will take any risk whatsoever. So I try to assess both those, and I want to do something that really creates big change. And in the end, the reason we started a company is I got convinced by one of the great pioneers of the computer industry that if we didn't do it, this technology was simply going to sit on the shelf and not get deployed. And we believed deeply in it. We had pretty solid data that it was transformative. So that was he said, you've got to go do it. You've got to go start something. So that's how we got there.
That's great. Yeah. And obviously it worked.
It worked.
Who knew?
I mean, all the things I didn't know along the way, I mean, there were a lot of mistakes, but we'll forget about those.
So, leaders are people who have followers. And as a leader, I watched you make decisions that might be seen as controversial. How much did you think about whether the followers would follow?
Certainly you think about that. I mean, certainly you think about whether or not a decision is going to meet with so much resistance. And in a university, or maybe even certainly in politics as well, a small but very vocal and determined minority can have an enormous impact. They may not be able to stop you from moving in a direction, but they can make it a lot harder to get progress that way. So when we were going to do anything difficult, we'd first try to really assess and bring in faculty, colleagues, the deans, obviously, and really try to get an insight into what they were thinking about it. Some of the hardest things that I think I had to do along the way were where the balance of risk-reward and how people felt about it differed depending on who you asked. In a university, when you ask younger faculty or students about doing something that's really ambitious and can make a big difference, they're often enthusiastic about it. Some of the more senior faculty may think, oh, that's going to upset the apple cart and just create more difficulty, and maybe we ought to. I'd just rather keep doing what I'm doing, and that that's to be expected, I think. So it's a question then of figuring out how you can align as many of the constituents as you can.
The lengthy book list at the end of your book shows the range of your own intellectual curiosity. And you reference a lot of leaders from the past who influenced you: Abraham Lincoln, Benjamin Franklin, in the more recent past, Steve Jobs, among many others. Do you see contemporary leaders, either in business or other fields, who you see as capable of filling leadership gaps in our society?
Well, I think we just lost one in John McCain. We lost possibly the greatest leader in Congress. Not somebody I always believed in everything, agreed with him on every point, but somebody who I believed made decisions that he always thought were in the best interest of the American people, as he interpreted it. I think we have a generation of emerging leaders, but I think we have some challenges, and maybe we need to have more stories about the successful leaders instead of we have a relentless focus on the messes and the disasters that have occurred. Maybe we need to help develop better role models of people who are being successful taking things forward.
And it's hard to figure out who to believe anyway when you're reading about a lot of these things,
Yeah.
Which is a real problem of the day.
Yeah.
Why did you call the book Leading Matters?
Oh, I call it. So this is a great story. This is a real a tribute to Linda Meyer, who came up with the name Leading Matters for our outreach event. So Linda is, when it comes to double entendres with really interesting meaning, she is the ultimate creator of those. So Leading Matters, obviously, it was about the importance of leadership. It was also about things which were current and were leading in people's minds. So she came up with that title, and I asked her if I could borrow for the book because I thought it captured what I was trying to get across in the book as well.
I actually knew the answer to that one.